What is up, guys? Welcome back to Cop Logic. The busy festive period rolls on and Liverpool remain toe for toe with Arsenal. So I think at this point we have to make sure that that game against Arsenal at Anfield is a pivotal one, is a game that matters. And to do that, we have to make sure that we pick up 3 points from every game from now until then, which includes the game we're going to look at today, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. Liverpool away, of course, at Selhurst Park. And then also Liverpool versus Manchester United, which will take place at Anfield. Both of those games, obviously two very winnable games. And if we can make sure we pick up 6 points from the next 6, then we can guarantee that the game against Arsenal, which will be absolutely massive, the last game before Christmas, it's going to be a top of the table clash, and it's going to decide who is top at Christmas. And I think that's so important when you consider Mohamed Salah is going to be missing for January. So we need to get as much out of him being in the team as we can this month, because we are going to lose him for January. We're also going to lose Wataru Endo. So we're going to get into what that's going to mean for the team going forwards. And those two losses surrounded by injury news. So of course we've got Mo, we've got Endo for this month. But in terms of injuries, there is some bad news. Jurgen Klopp has confirmed today in the morning press conference that Alexis McAllister is out now with injury, expected to miss the next 2 or 3 games. So that includes the game against Crystal Palace, it includes the USG midweek, and it also includes potentially the game against Manchester United, which is not great because I think that has a knock-on effect to other midfielders. You can't sort of take everyone out of that midfield. You have to maintain some sort of spine through the team, and I think that is going to have a knock-on effect on Dominic Szoboszlai, who's probably going to have to play a lot more minutes than Jurgen Klopp would like. So the injuries are starting to set in now. We had Joel Matip out the other week. We've got Alexis McAllister out now. We know Alisson is also out, Jota is out, and Thiago Bajcetic have been out all season pretty much. So it's not ideal, especially when you consider we're about to lose Mo and Endo as well in January. So it is important that we pick up all these points going forwards. The good news, however, is in terms of the opponents we're going to be looking at today, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are winless in their last 12 Premier League games with Liverpool. So that's good odds if you were trying to predict a winner, which we're going to be doing today. So yeah, Liverpool, I don't actually have the stats to hand, but I'm pretty sure it's 11 wins, 1 draw out of those 12. Palace winless in the last 12 meetings anyway. And interestingly, because this game is away at Selhurst Park, Jurgen Klopp has never lost a game at Selhurst Park. The last time Liverpool lost at Selhurst Park was under Brendan Rodgers. And that might be historical, but what about current form? Well, Crystal Palace currently, not only are they in poor form, but they're struggling for goals. They've only scored 7 since October, and they've won their fewest games in that time of anyone in the league, having only registered a single win since the start of October. So things looking pretty good for Liverpool. The only downside is that it's Jurgen Klopp's, well, you know, I'm not even going to joke about it because people have got in trouble for that this week already. It's a 12:30 kickoff, which Liverpool notoriously struggle with, having only won one 12:30 fixture since the start of last season, which is not good odds. The last 12:30 fixture we had this season was Manchester City, which of course ended in a draw. So hopefully we can break that curse, because we desperately need the 3 points, like I said, especially if we want to make sure that this game against Arsenal means something at the end of the month. Most recently, Palace lost 2-0 at home to Bournemouth, and they were also recently beaten 2-1 by Luton at the start of the month. So they're definitely in really poor form, getting beat there by teams that they should be looking at as very winnable games. So it's a poor form that Liverpool are going to be looking to capitalise on, and like I said, hopefully we can break that 12:30 curse. So without further ado, taking all that into account, let's look at the team I'm going to go with for this game. Starting with the goalkeeper, of course it has to be Kevin Kelleher. Picked up a clean sheet midweek against Sheffield, which is definitely good for his confidence after the poor performance against Fulham. We have no other option here, although it does look like Alisson Becker is returning to training this week if his Instagram post is anything to go by. Either way, I think it's not long till we see Alisson again. We won't see him for USG, definitely be Kelleher there, but I think we could see him back for the United game, which is very promising. Anyway, Kevin Kelleher for this game. For the fullbacks, I think we have to go with Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is in unbelievable form at the moment. He's pretty much undroppable as well. There's not really anyone that can come in for him. And on the other side, Kostas Tsimikas had a rest against Sheffield. Joe Gomez filling in for him there. I think that pretty much also makes Joe Gomez unavailable for this game because, you know, him being an injury-prone player, we want to avoid playing him as frequently as possible. We want to keep him as an option we can bring off the bench, I would say, because what we definitely don't want to do now is risk any more injuries across this back line. So Tsimikas definitely starts this game, but I think the Gomez situation also affects the centre-backs, so let's get into them now. For the centre-backs, I'm going with Konate and Virgil. Obviously, no Joel Matip because he's injured. I think throwing Kwanzaa into these Premier League games that are super important. Like I keep saying, we have to get 3 points from this game. I don't think we should be throwing Kwanzaa into them, to be honest. So we have to go with our best, and that is Konate and Virgil. Gomez on the bench to come on for any of these four, depending on who needs it. I think that's the safest way to do this, and it's probably going to be the same for United as well. In terms of CDM, I'm going Wataru Endo. With McAllister out, it's pretty much our only option, but I will say Endo's been putting in some amazing performances. Some people think he should have been man of the match against Sheffield. Obviously, Virgil picked that up, which I wouldn't argue against, to be honest. He had a great performance against Sheffield. He was amazing when he came off the bench against Fulham, so he's definitely in really good form right now, and hopefully we can capitalise on that by starting him in this game. And in terms of the central midfield, I'm going Dominic Szoboszlai and Ryan Gravenberch. Szoboszlai, I think as long as McAllister is out, Szoboszlai has to really be starting games, because again, I want to maintain that core. Now obviously as well, he got the goal against Sheffield, so you could say he's in good form. I actually think when Harvey Elliott came on, in the right wing, it really freed up Szoboszlai. He plays a lot differently to Mohamed Salah. So I actually do think Szoboszlai played a lot better with Harvey Elliott on, bizarrely. But that might be a key thing for us in January to look at. We could get more attacking output from Szoboszlai whilst we lose it from Mo Salah when he's gone in January. So there is a positive to take from that. But I'm playing Szoboszlai here specifically because I just think we need to keep some sort of core throughout this team while McAllister is out. You know, I would be rotating between starting McAllister on the left and maybe Harvey on the right, or Szoboszlai on the right and someone like Gravenberch on the left. Without McAllister, I think we have to do Szoboszlai on the right, and I'm going with Gravenberch on the left. It could be Curtis Jones, but you know, Gravenberch seems in really great form right now. Everyone's enjoying him when he comes off the bench and puts in these performances. And I think this is probably the strongest midfield we've got right now. Moving on to the forwards, I think the two wingers pretty much picked themselves. With Jota out, Luis Diaz remains our best option on the left wing, and Mo Salah absolutely undroppable there on the right wing. Like I said, I think when Harvey came on against Sheffield, it really freed up Szoboszlai. It allowed him to get forward more and put in those attacking runs, which ultimately got us the winning goal. Well, not the winning goal, but you know, the goal that sealed the game for us. So I'm absolutely not against starting Harvey Elliott, but obviously while you've got Mo Salah, we're using Mo Salah, especially this month, because we are losing him next month. So really the only point of contention I think this week is who we play as the striker. I know a lot of people have got their issues with Darwin Núñez, but interestingly, obviously Núñez was dropped for Sheffield and Gakpo started. If you actually look at the stats, Gakpo didn't register a single shot on target. Now I think a lot of people like to focus around the fact like if Darwin misses a chance, it becomes the talking point of the game, but you actually need to pay attention to how much of an attacking threat Liverpool become with Darwin Núñez on the team. It's undoubtable that we are better with him in the squad. You know, to not register a single shot against Sheffield in, I think he played something like 83 minutes, is really not ideal from Gakpo. And you know, Darwin Núñez came on, his XGA was better than Gakpo's in the limited time he did get, and he also registered a shot on target which was saved, and of course got the assist for Szoboszlai's goal. So for me, there is no question Darwin Núñez starts, and if all goes well, Darwin Núñez starts against Manchester United as well, because this is our strongest front three. I don't really think there's any argument there for Gakpo, if I'm being honest. And that's not to say that Gakpo is not a good player or can't be utilised in the squad. He plays very differently from Darwin. He's definitely more of a Bobby figure than Darwin. Darwin more of a Fernando Torres type player, if you will. And there are going to be certain games where Gakpo is more useful, but right now, this is definitely our strongest front three. You know, one good thing about Gakpo is he can be utilised in the midfield as well. He's a very versatile player. We can play him on the left wing. It's definitely a good option to have him in the squad, but I do not think he is an out-and-out 9 like Darwin Núñez is. And with a player like Trent Alexander-Arnold in his prime right now, Núñez and Trent complement each other so well, and we've seen already the relationship between Núñez and Mo is really starting to build. So I think we've just got to keep this front three, because I think it is the future as far as the next couple of seasons go. We'll see what happens with Mo Salah's contract, but certainly this is our best front three right now, and that's the team I'm going with against Crystal Palace. Now, in terms of score prediction, if you take a look at their percentages down below, Crystal Palace there with a 16% win percentage, a draw at 20%, and Liverpool 64% chance of a win there. I think ultimately we have to win, and the guys are going to know that. They're going to have been told that by Jurgen. They'll know that themselves. They want to be top of Christmas. They want the game against Arsenal at Anfield to mean something, so they're definitely going to be playing for a win. Very recently, Everton managed to put 3 past Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, so if they can do that, I'm backing us to do that. My prediction is Liverpool 3, Crystal Palace 1. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and as always, if you have enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to keep up to date with everything going on around Liverpool, especially as we're coming up to that very busy transfer window. We'll actually be dropping a video regarding that this week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to make sure you are notified, and we will see you guys, as always, in the next video. Peace.